How are you getting on with your Python programming? I have a few more resources that I've used that you may find helpful. But first, did you know the name Python was coined from the comedies Monty Python? Bit of a useless fact, but maybe it'll help you one day in a pub quiz. Anyhow, let's get into it. I have about 8 hours of study time now with Python. As mentioned in part 1, I would continue with Free Code Camp's Learn Python full course for beginners. I continued doing the videos, and as I was going along I felt more confident with Python. So before we even started one of the topics, for example, it's built in such a structure that it overlaps a little bit from the past topic. So before we move on to this current topic that he was teaching, I would try and do the thing before he would even show us how to do it. I'll go over some topics from the remainder of that video. I'll start with lists. Lists are a data structure. They allow you to save multiple integers or multiple strings, for example, in a list format. In that list you can then search, remove, add, sort or copy, to name a few. Next is a tuple. A tuple is another type of data structure. The difference being is once values are entered into a tuple, they cannot be amended. You can actually have a list of tuples. Another topic covered is a function. A function is a set of code that only runs when it's called upon. Return statements can be used in functions, and they return a value resulting from that function. The return statement also breaks you out of the function. Next is an if statement. An if statement provides an outcome based on a condition. In English, that means if it's sunny, I'll go outside. You can also use an else statement based on that if statement to return something if that statement isn't met. In English, that again means if it is sunny, I'll go outside, else I'll stay indoors. The operators that can be used in conditions are equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. These conditions can be chained together for multiple conditions using AND or OR logic. With an AND logic, to perform the outcome, all of the conditions need to be met. With OR logic, only one of those conditions need to be met. Next is dictionaries. These are keys for value pairs. That means you can use an abbreviated string and map that to another string. Another topic covered are while loops. While loops execute the code embedded within them while the condition of that while loop is met. This is followed by for loops. For loops are used to loop through values within a data structure, such as a string or a list. Quite a way through the video, you're introduced to comments. Comments are used to document on your code, or you can comment portions of your code that you don't wish to run when you execute it. Next, you're introduced to try except blocks. These are used to catch errors when your code's compiled. It doesn't get covered too greatly, but as far as I can tell, it allows you to enter your own custom error message. Next, we messed with a text file that was external to the Python file we were working on. We used the open command, and with this, you can read, write, append, or read and write to that text file. There is also a short introduction to pip. Pip is used to install Python modules within Python. These modules are predefined codes that other users have worked on previously. Saves you from typing up code that may have already been written, for example. Next is classes and objects. Classes are structures to define attributes. That could be a set of strings with a set of names. Objects use the class structure and place data into those structures. An example of a class could be the class person. This class contains 2 strings, first name, surname. An object could then use this class, person, and enter the first name, Lewis, and the second name, Bowerbank. You can create a separate Python file and create the class within that Python file. You can then import that Python file into the file you're working on and use the class within that file. You can then create your objects from that class. Inheritance is the last topic covered in that resource. Inheritance is used to inherit
functions from one class to another. An example of inheritance is Class A has functions A and B. Class B needs functions A and B, but also needs functions C and D. You can use inheritance to ensure that Class B inherits function A and B. That concludes Mike Dane's video. I'll leave a link in the description below. I did some more searching on YouTube for some more videos to learn from. I did try a couple of videos but didn't get much value out of them. At this point I need to practice more with my skills that I've learned so far, and I also need a broader Python knowledge so I can search for some more specific topics on YouTube so I can learn from those. I did however find one video I bookmarked for later. It's a video by Giles McMullen on his channel Python Programmer. He lists through some resources for beginners to use for learning Python from his experience. I haven't gone through these yet, but I plan to shortly, and I'll leave a link in the description below. In my search away from YouTube for Python material, I came across the website codingbat.com. This gives you a number of exercises to complete, starting at a warm-up level but also ramping up in challenge. I've only done the warm-up so far, but it was quite a good resource. Without an instructor holding your hand doing everything for you, and you simply copying, you can read a paragraph and then use the experience that you've learned so far. I'll leave a link for CodingBat in the description below. The next resource I'm using at the moment is Pluralsight. Now, Pluralsight is a paid service, however you can get 3 months for free currently. If you sign up to Microsoft's Visual Studio Dev Essentials program, all you need is an Outlook account. You can get Pluralsight for free for 3 months. Pluralsight on their website have what they call featured paths. They have one for Python and this is 29 hours long. This is effectively 8 courses that relate to each other. Now I've done the first course and it's only an hour long, however I wouldn't recommend doing it because assuming you're watching this video, I believe that you already know a little bit about Python in terms of what it can do, not necessarily how to do it. The first hour is literally talking to you what Python is used for. It may be useful to you, but I didn't find it too useful. I haven't finished the next course, and looking at the topics in the course there is some overlap. However, overlap is good because some repetition does help reinforce some topics, and it also gets taught in a different way. But towards the end of the course, it does go on a different tangent and there'll be new things to learn at that point. I'm going to do the course and I'll report back in my next video if there's anything new. Please like the video if you liked it, and leave a comment below with any resource that might be of use to myself. I'll share it if I find it useful. Subscribe to my channel to be informed when the next video is out, and if you want, hit the bell. Please check my website and blog out on lewisbowerbank.com. Follow me on social media at lewisbowerbank, and I'll speak to you next time.